What's up, everybody? Jason with Heap of Jeep and HOJ Forge. A little more fun at the Forge today. I got an order for 2 knives for Cable Damascus. His and her, I don't know if they're anniversary or what knives, but they want them to look like they were a matched set. Not identical, but you know, I'll make hers a little smaller and his a little bigger, but make them the same design of knife, and then do the leather sheaths. Right, so I've got a couple of hunks of cable here. I'm just going to show you one that I do, and I've already cut it about where I think I want it for her knife, and then I welded up the ends there, just a few little tack welds to help hold it together while we get all the cables forge welded together on the ends. So I'm going to go ahead and start the forge, and we'll get to this. As always, thank you for subscribing. If you're not already a subscriber, please click that subscribe button and join along in the fun as I fix up my old Jeeps. And lately I've just been doing a lot of forging, making knives and other things and having some fun with that. I am not a professional blacksmith, but do my best and we'll have some fun together. Also, don't forget I've signed up for the Patreon account. I'll put a link up here somewhere. Again, it's been a little while since my last video, and that's because real life and real work and real job come before the fun stuff of the forging. If you want to help out and throw a little money my way, I can do more videos more often, blah blah blah. Enough about that, let's get to the knife. Okay, I don't know if all cable is like this, but the stuff that I've got a big hunk and strand of is all like, it's all covered with this grease, and when you start doing anything hot with it, when I welded up the ends, the grease caught on fire. It almost works like a big candle. So want to get all that out of there. While the forge is warming up here, I'm just going to set this on top, and eventually it's going to catch on fire, and all the grease and the oil and crud inside will start burning off, and then we'll flux it, and that should help get rid of the rest of it. I'm sure there's lots of different ways to do this. I found this way works for me, so that's the way I'm going to show you how I do it. But most of that grease is done burning off the end there. It's all burning in the middle now. So I'm going to start putting some flux on it, just some borax. It's not at a really red heat yet. It's just starting to turn red, but there's so much crud in there. And as the borax starts liquefying and bubbling, it'll help draw some of that out. And all I'm worried about right now are the very end. I just want to get those all forge welded up. So now that it's at an orange heat, I'm going to add some more flux. I'm going to flux the hell out of this thing. Again, I don't know if you need that much, but it worked, and I don't want to change what I know works for me. Then I keep rotating it in here. I'm going to keep rotating it in there until it gets up to welding heat. Then we're just going to set the welds, and I'll show you how that works. And with any forge weld that I always do, I just try and pound the layers together a little bit. This wasn't the welding temperature. I'm really just trying to get as much space out from between them as I can. And then, guess what? More flux. You can really start to feel when it starts firming up, and then you know it's getting welded. So quick brush. Now if you've ever watched any of my other forging videos, knife making videos, you know I do 3 welding heats. For the cable it sort of talks for itself, you'll know. So I'm counting this as the first welding heat, so I'm going to go through at least 2 more, maybe 3 more of those with lots of flux. One more ought to do it. Alright, so now I'm going to get the other, and then I'm going to put the camera on the forge for this side so you can sort of see how I do it while it's in the forge. First, you're going to burn off all the oil and crap from this side. Your cable starts coming untwisted. It's getting real loose in there, right in there. Don't worry about it, because that actually lets the flux get in there better, and we're going to twist it tight anyways. So I'm just rotating it constantly. I've got the blower turned way down. It'll get it up to welding temp, but it's not going to burn it as quick, which is a real danger when you're doing cable. Okay, nice orange heat. I'm going to tap these layers together. More flux. Counting that as my first real weld, now at least 2 more. Alright, so there we go. What I'm going to do is flux the whole thing, make sure all that other crud is burned out from the middle of it, and then we'll take it over to the vise and twist it real tight. So nothing else is burning, so I'm just going to flux it like it's never been fluxed before. We want all that borax as it melts to get down inside there. And we'll let that cook, and as soon as it's ready we'll go over to the vise. And some people do this at welding temperature, and then they say as soon as it's twisted It's welded, and the rest is just shaping. I have my vise set up on the other side of the garage from where my forge is, so it's a little hard to get it here while it's still at welding temp. I tried it once and I don't know, it didn't work so good for me, so I just do it while it's in orange heat, and then I worry about welding everything up after that. Now you don't want to twist it so tight that you start breaking strands or anything. You just want to get as much space out of the cable as you can. And I think we're good. And just take it an inch at a time. Kind of tap this area together next. Get it ready to weld. Back to the fire. Then you also have to decide where you want to stop for the handle, and I think right about there is where I'm going to stop. So I'm going to start stretching this part out into a blade. Alright, well here she is right out of the forge. Oh, sorry about the camera if it's the picture got bad all of a sudden. My other camera died. So this is it out of the forge. You know, looking pretty rough, but decent. So I drew a basic shape of where I want to get it ground down to. And then I'm going to start grinding the sides. I'd sell these things like really super cheap compared to my other knives, so I just try and whip them out as fast as I can. I don't do any hand sanding on them, and everything's done on the belt grinder here. So I've got about an hour and a half into the forging, and hopefully about an hour of grinding, and I should be ready to etch it. So let's get going on it. Alright, well here they are, his and her table knives. So the hers is just a hair shorter. I don't know, I like them. I think they look pretty similar in most respects. The handles look the same. So gonna go ahead and heat treat these. Gonna normalize them a few times first. That's where you heat it up to critical. Take it out, let it cool, heat it up to critical, take it out, let it cool. Do that a few times, and then quench it, and then temper it, and then we'll get to the cleanup. Alright, so fresh from heat treat and tempering, and I'm going to clean it up a little bit with the 150, move to 400, and then to an 800 cork belt, and hopefully that will get it good enough to etch, because I hate to do any hand sanding on these. Like I say, I sell them so cheap, I just want to whip them out. So let's get to this. Alright, so I washed it down with acetone, and I've got it sitting in some ferric chloride, and just gonna let it do its thing. Does that sound right? I don't know, but for cable Damascus, I found about 3 20-minute cycles in about a 4-to-1, 5-to-1 mix of ferric chloride to water. It gets a pretty decent etch on them, so we'll see. We'll play around with it, and we'll know when it's done, because it'll be done. Alrighty, well, there she is. This is just her version of the his and her knives. The his version is still tempering, and I've still got some more sanding and the etch to do on it, but this one came out pretty cool. I think she'll like it. So there you go, everybody. That's how I do Damascus cable knives. There's probably a lot of different ways. There's a ton of videos floating around on YouTube, but this is my contribution to it. So get a hammer, get an anvil, something flat, and a forge, and start smacking metal and having fun, because once you start, it's addicting and you can't stop. Anyways, we'll see you next time.